Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Grind. Here's your host, JB.
Hey, welcome back. I feel like I was just in front of you guys not too long ago, and we had a great episode with Tony Gravely on after his victory over Oliveira at UFC 270. If you didn't make that stream or that episode, go check it back out on all of our platforms, Rockfin, Twitter, the YouTube channel, and Facebook. Great conversation with Tony. I will tell you what, he's a great young man, especially get to know outside of what we do as an episode and some of the chats and that sort of thing that we do. But a good conversation with him. Excited for Tony. App Nation really showed out on Saturday on Twitter for Tony. Big support from us, so definitely appreciate everybody supporting and retweeting and sharing all of his content as well. He's excited. Got a few more fights under this new contract, so be looking for some more content from him as well. Hey, before we get Coach on the stream here, go share us, retweet us, subscribe, whatever it may be. Tag somebody that wants to hear it. We're going to bring Coach on here in just a second. Talk a little breakdown of VMI and Little Rock. Man, I missed Friday night at Varsity. Those guys, the VMI match was absolutely ridiculous and just carried over into Little Rock as well. So looking forward to talking to Coach and obviously our special guest, man. This is the first time we've brought a student athlete on in a while. We've been out of sorts, obviously, on here with everything that's gone on. I didn't make it Friday to Varsity Gym because I ended up dropping positive for the COVID on Friday morning. So didn't make Friday at Varsity Gym. Is going to miss tomorrow as well, but definitely didn't miss the action because I caught it all on Rockfin there. So let's go check in before we get too far into this. Let's go check in with Coach. Coach, how are things in the Bentley household tonight?
It's going well, Jeremy. My wife just got the kids put to bed, and we're getting ready for another day.
Yeah, that's always a big feat at the house, right? That's like when the kids are in bed and everything's quiet for once in the house during the day. It's almost like you can finally breathe then. So I can definitely appreciate that, Coach. Hey, crazy week, Coach. You guys, I think it's been now that you guys are kind of out of the scuffle and gone through those issues coming out of that and dealing with the Citadel postponement. It seems like you guys have been pouring it on with the scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously we had a long break there after the Southern Scuffle, and then we rolled right into Duke a week ago Thursday, or I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago, and then right into Little Rock and VMI, and then we're right back at it tomorrow with Gardner-Web. So, quite a few matches here in just a short number of days. But I think it's good for our guys to make weight, frequently, in a couple of short weeks, and just kind of, it gives us some time to, focus on competition and, kind of seeing where we're at and kind of some adjustments that need to be made. And then it also gives us some other breaks to, have a week to train. So, guys are looking good. I felt, our guys wrestled real well last Friday night against Little Rock and VMI, and a lot of positives we took away from that match. And we're continuing to build and continue to learn more about this team. And I'm obviously excited for the opportunity and the challenge tomorrow night. To go against another undefeated team in the Southern Conference and try to remain undefeated ourselves.
Yeah, that VMI match, Coach, the duel there, that was another beast. I mean, this is kind of like who we're used to seeing, right, with all those bonus points. We'll just go down it real quick, right down the line, because we got a lot of content to cover in a short amount of time tonight and don't want to take up all of your guys' time this evening. 125, Caleb Smith started out with a fall, right into it with 133, Sean Carter with a fall. Heath Gagne steps up. Maybe his first? Is that his first start in a duel, Coach, or did he start before?
No, he wrestled against Carolina. That was
That's
his second start at home, and then he also wrestled for us against Duke and had a victory at Duke as well. So he's really kind of coming into his own.
That's right. Yeah, come away with a major decision. I mean, that is, we've talked about it, and every time we end up dealing with an injury, it feels like the depth isn't quite where we want it to be, and we've chatted about this not on an episode before, but it's kind of like opportunities like this with these young guys is really where they have a chance to grow. And Heath, I mean, walking away with a major decision. I don't care who you are. If you're a Division I wrestler on the mat, you're a pretty good wrestler to begin with. So to see Heath come away there with a major decision, obviously John, I mean, he continues with a tech fall. Cody Bond, major decision. Will Formato, major decision. Thomas Flitz, major decision. We get into the heavier guys, which we know have I know they haven't done as well as they would have liked to recently, but they all three walked away with a decision in that duel. So a lot of good things you had to come away from that duel with a lot of good thoughts and good feelings on top to bottom on the roster.
Yeah, absolutely. Our guys did what we talk about. They scored a lot of points. We had a lot of bonus point victories, pinned a couple of guys, and then, our upper weights, really, did an outstanding job for us. At 184, Barrett Blakely gets the win over an opponent that had actually beaten us last year. And I know Barrett wasn't our starter, but that guy actually pinned us last year in the duel. So, Barrett goes up there, gets a victory for us at 84, and then Wyatt Miller in his first start in varsity gym, what kind of, emotions and kind of, feelings that can have behind it. But he stepped out there, performed well, got his hand raised, and then Mike Michelle followed with another victory at heavyweight. So I was really proud of our whole team, especially the big guys, and, I'm excited to see them continue to grow.
Yeah, it's definitely been trial by fire for Heath Gagne and Wyatt Miller, obviously stepping up and dealing with some injuries that we've had in those weight classes. But again, see those guys walk away with some victories, like you said, Wyatt in his first start there in varsity gym. That can't be an easy environment to get your first start in, and to walk away with that sort of victory in an opponent that wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy match for him, but he got his hand raised in the end. So that's got to be exciting for him. Coach, went into Little Rock. I think this is the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Little Rock had been to varsity gym, and maybe their last time, right? I think they're going on to a different conference with a shakeup that's gone on with conference realignment and that sort of thing. It was kind of funny. WrestleStat tweeted the final Sunbelt Conference Wrestling Championship ever. So it didn't really click with me until I saw that, but kind of an interesting duel there.
Yeah, and they've done a good job with their program. They've invested a lot of resources in that program, and that coaching staff does a good job. And I think we beat them pretty soundly. I mean, winning 9 out of 10 matches, but they didn't roll over for us. I mean, they put up a fight, and I think they're actually a little bit better than people give them credit for. I think that their guys are hungry, and they've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as well. They want to kind of start establishing that program, and I mean, they were definitely a good test for us. I mean, we had some really good matches with them, and I think it was it was a good duel, and hats off to that team. I think they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they almost had a similar result against VMI. I think they won everyone but one of the individual matches in their duel against VMI as well. So they're
I don't remember what the score. I think they won like 36-6 or something against.
Is that
VMI.
what it was? Maybe one or two.
So.
Yeah. Great showing. I mean, the competition, they were obviously a little bit better, like you talked about. The exciting thing for me, to be honest with you, Coach, was Barrett was the only one that scored bonus points in that duel. Like you said, he beat the kid that pinned us last year with VMI, and then is the only one to walk away with some bonus points in the match. So that's got to, for me and where we've been with the 197 and kind of seen the struggles there, Barrett looked good Friday night in varsity gym.
Yeah, once again, I mean, honestly, I thought maybe some of the guys that wrestled the best in that whole duel were the top three guys. I think 84-97 heavy probably wrestled the best of any of our guys in that Little Rock match. I mean, like you mentioned, Barrett goes out and gets bonus points and, really had to open up and, take some risks to score some extra points. And then Wyatt Miller had a dominant decision. And then, I thought that Mike Burchell had a good win, even though, I felt like the ref tried to take it out of his hands, kind of made a questionable stall call to make it close. But, Mike still was able to get the job done. And, I think that opponent was a decent opponent. So, I was really proud of our upper weights. I thought they really came through for us strong. And I hope that's an indication of what's to come here in these upcoming weeks.
Yeah. Well, Barrett at 184, Wyatt at 97. He blanked his guy 6-0 decision. So, like you said, decisive. And Burchell, again, Burchell was a completely different guy out there Friday night in Varsity Gym over the past couple of duels. So great to see him where he's at today. Again, a lot of things go on behind the scenes in every sports and college athletics. Not always do the average viewer understand or know all of the things that are going on, especially with the COVID stuff that goes on this year. So great to see those performances. Had to be a good feeling for you to walk away Friday night from a great victory, or great victories against two pretty good opponents in the SoCon Conference. Coach, the interesting thing about Friday was we had Matthew Bentley on the mic for the stream. That was some prime content. Anybody that paid for Rockfin that night, you got a bonus. We should have upped the price of Friday night stream with Matthew on it.
Yeah, I actually had a couple of guys text me and tell me they enjoyed having him on the stream, and that you can tell he's got a lot of the inside scoop. So I was teasing him yesterday, told him I was going to have to stop telling him so much inside information if he's going to spill it all out there.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because there was one thing that came out, and I kept thinking to myself, I don't think that that's the case anymore, but we cleared it up a little bit later. So, yeah, it was good. Great content. I can tell you that I've heard from a few people as well. Great. They love the history behind the program, and Matthew knows a lot of things that I'll never know about the coaches and the ins and outs and who they used to wrestle for and that sort of thing. So yeah, it was great content for a viewer, and especially if you couldn't be there Friday night like myself, to be able to watch it on Rockfin and hear from Matthew and Sava on the mic was pretty good. I know they kind of feel bad sometimes for being so App State slanted, but I told Sava again tonight, man, that's who we are. I mean, we're going to cheer for App State whether we wrestle anybody. So if they're not used to that by now on Rockfin on our channel, they'll get used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't think they need to apologize for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, good Friday night. We've got a good opponent coming up Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Gardner-Web coming to town tomorrow evening in Varsity Gym at 7 p.m. I don't think Gardner-Webb's lost yet, have they, in conference duels?
No, they're undefeated. They beat VMI, I think, pretty similar, like 38-6 or something like that. I mean, I know they beat VMI pretty bad last week, and I'm not sure who their other win is, but I know that they are undefeated as well in the Southern Conference. And, they've got, I think they've got 2 returning NCAA qualifiers in their lineup. So, yeah, they're definitely, a much improved program. And I know they're going to come up here expecting to, trying to ruin our Tuesday night. So our guys, they've got to be consistent and got to get themselves ready to wrestle. They're going to I tell our guys all the time, they're going to take everybody's best shot, and that's just what they've got to understand.
Yeah, I mean, we say it a lot. A lot of the different teams within campus says it. Things are just different in Boone. Things are different on the mountain. But one thing you can be sure of, you're going to get everybody's best shot. Like they're not holding anything back when they come to town or when we go to their town. So Gardner-Web definitely, I think, much improved, like you talked about, Coach. It seems like every year that we face them, they get a little bit better. They're kind of one of those programs that are just gradually going to sneak up on somebody. And somebody's going to fall victim to a surprise that they weren't expecting from that team, because they are definitely one of those teams that continue to improve. Coach, any changes, anything different from the lineups we saw Friday night that may be different on Tuesday, tomorrow evening?
Cody Russell should be back ready to go tomorrow night, so I'm not sure who we're going to go with at that weight yet, but he'll definitely be an option for us tomorrow night. I do want to kind of put a plug in tomorrow night, senior night, so we're going to recognize 6 seniors, so that's just another added reason for the fans to come out to Varsity Gym and send out these 6 seniors on a really packed Varsity Gym. But that'll start tomorrow night at 6:50, 10 minutes before the match starts. We'll do a recognition of our seniors and their families that'll be in attendance, and then we'll get the match going at 7 p.m.
Yeah, senior night, I think we're going to have some pizza for students that show up to Varsity Gym as well, Coach. If I've seen the information coming out from App State Athletics, that will be good. Recognizing seniors is always important. You're going to have a mat full of seniors on tomorrow night to recognize, so that'll be pretty special to be a part of that as well. 7 p.m. at Varsity Gym. Folks, you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a great environment. Go out there, support the senior student athletes that are going to be recognized there as well. Coach, right after this, Tuesday into Saturday, you've got a big open you're going to host there at Varsity Gym.
Yeah, the App State Open is this coming Saturday, January 29th. We always host an open in January. We're looking to have a good number of entries. I know, some of the teams that have already sent entries in are the University of Virginia, the University of North Carolina, Citadel, Gardner-Web, Virginia Tech, and us so far. And registration doesn't close till Wednesday. So I'm hopeful that we'll have, somewhere upward of 120 or so entries for that open on Saturday, and give our guys another opportunity to wrestle in Varsity Gym. And, it'll be a good day.
Nice. Yeah, that's some great competition coming to town, Coach. Virginia Tech, a lot of those guys, obviously, App State there. It'll be a good spectator event, right? You're going to see a lot of high caliber, high performance guys that are going to be on those mats in Varsity Gym. So definitely go check it out, Coach. I'm assuming this is open to the public.
Yeah, it is. Gates open at 8 a.m. Wrestling starts at 9 a.m.
Yeah. If you're in Boone Saturday, want to see some high caliber, good Division I wrestling out on the mat there in Varsity Gym, go check it out. 3 mats of action, Coach?
5.
5. Woo! That place is going to be rocking for sure. Yeah, you don't want to miss that. Go check it out. Varsity Gym Saturday, all day, starting at 9 o'clock, as Coach said. Going to be some high caliber matches there. It'll be good to see our guys competing against some of those guys as well, right? Some of those schools we don't wrestle on a regular basis, but seeing our guys out there with them will be pretty exciting as well, Coach. Coach, anything else we need to know before we move on to our guest here this evening?
Nope. Enjoy your time with John. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Coach, real quick before you go, what should we know about John? Like, what is one thing about John that only JMB knows about John? There's
a lot of things that JMB knows about John, but no, I think, I don't know if, a lot of people may or may not know this, but I think one thing that probably would surprise people if they haven't been following our program is John actually, came here as a freshman, was a 141 pounder, and actually struggled quite a bit, and didn't have a lot of success early on in his freshman year, and actually at one point tried to walk away from the team. And I didn't let him quit, and I'm glad he did, and I'm sure everybody else at App State's glad that he didn't quit. So, many people don't know that, and I tell that story to our freshmen all the time, like, hey, man, like when you think your freshman year is hard and you just don't think you can do it anymore, there's an example of a guy that if I'd let him walk away, that would have been one less All-American on the wall in Varsity Gym. And so everybody goes through those tough times, and you can make it through it. So I don't know if you knew that or not. But.
No, I didn't. That's a great takeaway, because I think that everybody that we've ever talked to, from the Trotmans to the Graveleys to the Blevins to anybody that's ever been on this program on kind of the Beyond the Mat episodes, the one common thing is their freshman year is always hard. Like none of them say freshman year was great. So that definitely speaks to that and kind of reiterates what we hear from everybody of how tough that freshman year is for student athletes when they get to that level of competition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just saw some potential in John, and I don't think anybody else really saw it. I mean, he really wasn't anything special as a freshman or even coming out of high school. But he has had a very infectious personality. It was easy to like him and want to see him succeed and do well. And I don't know. There was something about him that I felt like he had a lot of untapped potential. And, I felt like in our program there was a good opportunity for us to pull that untapped potential out of him. And I just didn't want to let him walk away from the sport. And obviously looking at it now, I'm sure he'll tell you that he's really glad he did. So.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing I like most about John, Coach, he doesn't have an ego, right? He's very even-keeled. Every time that I've seen him, he's very even-keeled. He doesn't have an ego. He doesn't get flashy. He doesn't do a lot of the things that you see a lot of that level of wrestlers do on the mat. And all of the fans absolutely love him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's great to see a guy that's humble like that, that's even keeled, that doesn't carry that ego out onto the mat with him. So appreciate that insight, Coach. Hey, appreciate your time, and go beat up on Gardner-Web tomorrow for us, will you?
Yeah, we're going to do our best.
All right, Coach. Good luck. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy.
Go check in with John, the man at 149. John, how are things going this evening for you?
Things are going good. Similar to Coach Bentley. Casey just put Luca down, and I think he's getting ready to go to sleep, hopefully.
Nice, yeah. It's that time of night, like I said, when you get the kids to bed, it's like, man, for you, it's probably like either I can do some work or get some schoolwork done or whatever it may be, but it's always one of those moments where you're like, man, I can finally catch my breath around here.
Yeah, typically I'm right behind them going to sleep. So yeah. I try to get most of my stuff done before practice or 5 p.m. That way I can, just come home, go relax a little bit, spend time with the family or go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's ideally what I would like to happen on a daily basis, but,
Yep, doesn't always happen that way because I'm sure Coach JohnMark's probably got a schedule ready for you tomorrow that probably starts bright and early, huh?
Well, I get up pretty early myself. Tomorrow, we got the match, so it's not as early. I think our Tuesday, Thursday practices are at 10, so it's not that bad. Typically, I wake up at around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. The dogs got me on a schedule, so I got to take them out and then I just start my day, a cup of coffee, and go.
There you go. So, John, I think the last time we talked to you, you were coming off the NCAAs, right? You just made it through there. We talked to you a little bit, had you on the show. Obviously, our feeling was you didn't do as well as you had wanted to, but for us, we're celebrating your success and placing All-American there. Last season, at the end of last season. How's this season been for you? The start of it, we're coming into the conference duels right now. Where do you feel you're at this season so far?
This season, me personally, I think that I'm a lot better wrestler than I was, even in March. So that's obviously good, and I felt good coming into this season. But I think that, there's a lot of small things that I can grow and improve on wrestling. And I think that's any wrestler. So we definitely haven't peaked yet, and I think we probably won't peak until that last week in March. With the way that I would like for it to go. But just gotta stay driven. Gotta stay motivated. Just find ways to get yourself better. Between every match. So.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and we mention this on a pretty regular basis. The off season for a wrestler is not really an off season, right? Like you may not be trying to peak during the off season like you will be trying to hit when you go into March. for the NCAAs, but it's a grind, right? Like you're always training and honing your skills through the off season.
Yeah, I think we should just call it off season. We should just rename it to growth season. I think that's, for me, I had a great coaching staff, got Ian, and I got Coach Bentley. That was just a growth season for me. Just redefining myself, being more technical on my feet, getting better on my feet, because I think that was one of the areas that, I thought that I really struggled at as far as NCAAs. And, you got somebody like Ian Miller that's, an electric wrestler and it's great on his feet. Just it's good to, just pick his brain and kind of steal some stuff off of him.
That's interesting you say that, John. If you get on the mat with John, it's over. Like John is gonna get likely you in a tilt and some back points at some point, but it's kind of interesting that you'd pick out the on the feet thing, because I have noticed this season it seems like you are a little bit more dynamic and mobile when you're on your feet in that neutral position with your opponent, compared to where you finished last year and at the tournament.
Yeah, 100%. But, like I said, growth season, it's just something that, we've been working on constantly, just being consistent for a long period of time. So naturally, it's going to show, and it's, I'm always going to do my best when I wrestle out there, but, I'm always working to improve on, some area, some aspect, every day.
Yeah, that's good, man.
The important thing.
Yeah. Especially where you're at in your career, right? Your senior season, this is really, you've seen success, obviously coming off the All-American season, trying to build on it, place a little bit higher, maybe even up on the podium with the top guys at the end of that season. Obviously, your rankings this year are leading to that possibility. And as you know, the difference is in the wrestling room, how much time you spend in there, the grind that you put in with those guys and the staff and that sort of thing. What are maybe some things that you've learned in your career from your freshman year? Obviously, we just heard of some struggles there in your freshman year in Boone up until this year, your senior year. What are some takeaways, and maybe what are some things, if there's any of those freshman guys out there listening or will listen later, what's some takeaways from that your career so far?
It's so many. There's a million things. Let me try to highlight some of the big things that I think helped me. Number one, you coming into your freshman year of high school, you got to have a strong support system, and I think that's one thing that really helped me develop in my wrestling is, not trying to do it by myself. You got to have a support staff, and that's your coaches, your family, your parents, and then, even for me, my wife now, you got to have a good support system that'll support you no matter what, because, things get hard, on anybody, just everyday things, school life, and then wrestling on top of it. You got to have a strong support system, that'll never give up on you. And then in return, like you can't give up on yourself, and that kind of goes back with the first support system. So I think support is a big area that, as wrestlers, it's a very individual sport, and a lot of people, they think they got to be strong by themselves, but, it's also a team aspect, and, you got a team in life as well. So you got to use those support systems.
Yeah, that's great insight into information, and I can see. I mean, being a freshman in college is not easy to begin with, right? But being a freshman that's on a Division I wrestling team and competing at the level, and not just the competition really as a freshman, right? You compete a little bit, but the training. So being a freshman student is one, and the intensity in the training too. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how you could do it without a strong support system. Like if you don't have that support system there to begin with, got to be tough. So definitely great insight for that, John, and I'm sure if anybody's out there listening, make sure you have that lined up day one. Like know who's in that support system, and if I could give any words of advice to it, stay in touch with them. Reach out to them, let them know how things are going, and share those struggles with them. Great insight there, John. Rest of the season, got some big duels coming up, some bigger duels later in the season. What's your take? One day at a time. Is that how John looks at the season?
Yeah, I don't really look too far ahead in the schedule. It's got one goal, one mindset, and that's to be on top of the podium in NCAA's. So, but in order to get there, you got to get through so many days before. And and my takeaways, you got to put a lot of good days together. So, if you look too far ahead, you can skip what's in front of you. You can miss opportunities to get better, and then it might bite you in the end. So, yeah, like you said, one day at a time. Just being diligent and a stream amount of focus with all the little things that you do. I think that's the best way to take it, and that way you don't overlook any competition. And you can always get the best out of yourself. You can always leave at the end of the day with no regrets. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Nice. We've already had some conversation with John, so we know what he likes in and around Boone, and we'll have another conversation with him before he leaves Boone to get those things again. But John, let's talk about some of the characters on the team, right? Between the staff and your teammates and the guys in that wrestling room and in the locker room. Let's talk about some of those guys. So, who has the best JMB impersonation in the locker room?
We all know that's me. I mean, I don't know who told you, but we know it's me. I got the best impersonation of Coach Bentley.
Nice. So, what are some things about Coach Bentley that the team can? You're just going to know it's going to happen almost every day. You're going to hear this, or he's going to say it, or something is going to happen around this thing. Is there like one thing that the team knows is just going to happen?
There's a lot. I mean, I don't know if the man. I mean, he's pretty one dimensional. I mean, he is who he is. I think one thing that he does is he does a lot. So we do a thought for the day every day. Whenever he does it, he relates it to something. Typically that relates to wrestling and it relates to life. But every time he goes, see, and guys, this it's about wrestling, but it's a lot like life. That's what you could take away from it. It's not just wrestling. It's about life as well. So I think that's one. That's the big one that he loves to do.
Yeah, but, I can hear him.
Cracks me up.
Yeah, when you said that, it was him in front of me that I was looking at, and not you. It sounded so good. So yeah, great.
Oh, yeah.
Great one there.
That, and then match day. I think match day impressions are hilarious too. He's got the hard clap with the face, and he's got like a vein. He's got a vein that comes up, got squiggly lines. He's yelling at the refs so much.
Yeah, that is awesome. It's great to see the best part for me and the spectators. I will tell you, obviously the action on the mat is great, but anybody that's watching or listening, if you go and look at the pictures, like that athletic post, and the wrestlers are always forefront, right? Look in the background. Go and look at what Ian and JMB and Coach Randall is doing in the background. That is the absolute best content in any of the photo galleries for the wrestling team. It's not what's happening on the match.
He's dramatic. If you ever pay attention to him, I wrestle him, so I know how dramatic he is. But you ever pay attention to him, he can.
It is great.
He gets so emotional. He gets into it. So
yeah. One of these days, whenever I have the resources to do it, one of these days, or maybe one season, if I can find the resources to do it one season, I would just like to have a camera on the coaches, right? Like just a tight shot on the coaches and make like a blooper reel at the end of the season of the expression and the emotion behind the coaches, because it would be an hour's worth of laugh. I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah. One thing, let me interrupt you real quick. One thing that after every match, we got the Matt Boss report and we look at the statistics. And so after the match, we always have our team meeting. He doesn't like to say much because he says he doesn't want his emotions to get involved. So the next day or whenever we come back for practice, he has the Matt Boss. He has the stats printed out on a piece of paper. And he says, all right, guys, now this is the Matt Boss report. and this is taking the emotions out of it. This is straight statistics, just data, emotions out of it. And then that's a classic. After every match, you're gonna get the Matt Boss report. You're gonna get the emotions are gonna be out of it. Straight statistics. So that's that one's always funny. That one always cracks me up. It don't matter what the match is. It ain't like we could blow them out. It could be a close match. We could have lost. Like the emotions are out of it. It's just straight statistics. So that one's always funny. I like that one. That's probably one of my favorite ones. But you can't laugh because he's being serious. He's reading the stats and stuff. But that one's definitely my favorite.
Nice. We'll have to see if we can get some other impersonations. Who else does impersonations well within the team?
I'll say Will's got a decent one, and Cody Russell. Cody Russell can give you one.
Oh yeah, I bet he can. Yeah. We'll definitely get those guys on the show as well. Anybody
it's
do?
His birthday too. He just turned 30.
Pretty close though, right?
Pretty close. He's 25, but he might as well be 30.
Yeah. Can anybody do Ian Miller one? Any good Ian Miller impersonations? Does he have an impersonating personality?
No.
No?
Not really.
No.
It's not like Coach Bentley. Coach Bentley's he's from North Carolina, so he's got the Southern accent, and he uses a lot of analogies that if you get in the South. So like if you're from up north, you would think the analogies are like funny because you never heard them before, but if you're from the South and you get them. So it kind of goes with his personality. So it fits the persona of his identity too. So.
Nice. What about Coach Randall? Is there any impersonations of Coach Randall?
Oh yeah, we can get Randall. I can get Randall pretty good. So, I've been Randall's teammate for a while too. So
yeah. What do we need to know about Randall, and what's some impersonations from him that you can do?
I'll give you one. So at every match, coaches speak, about how the match went. So you got Randall. Randall's always in the corner. He's quiet. He's subtle. He goes, and the guys, he's got a deep voice. So guys, I really ain't gonna say too much. The coaches didn't already said it all. But, we got some guys, you know who you are. He'll pause. And then he'll always say, take your suppressant. Guys pop out with herpes. But he's Randall. I think Randall. I like Randall. He's a good coach. I think he's good for the team.
Yeah.
But
that
me and
sounds
Randall,
like him.
we were teammates, and me and Randall were really close. So we always, him and his fiance now, we always have dinner together and stuff when we was on the team. And he would say he cut weight his senior year, but he didn't cut weight. He would run to get 5 pounds under 197 to eat a 5-course meal, and then say that he cut weight. We're like Randall, what'd you weigh? You cutting weight? He'd be like, no, I'm trying to eat good tonight. You got everybody else, cutting weight just to make it. And he's eating steak and shrimp the night before and 3 sides. And,
so he done it the reverse. Like he cut a lot of weight days before just so he could eat good before the match.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So we get the pre-match meals when we're on the road. He'll be up there eating with Kerry, getting seconds. He'll be getting plates of seconds. We got to ask him, Randall, what'd you weigh? 196.
Nice.
But he was so big, you wouldn't think that he would get that far underweight.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We definitely appreciate some insight and some of the comic relief within in the team for sure, John.
Since you said Matthew Bentley, everybody enjoyed him. I've been telling Coach Bentley, I said, you want this program to excel, you got to get the real Bentley on staff. Teach us some junk moves.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
So me and Matthew's my guy. I like Matthew. He's great. He's funny. Oh, I've been trying to get him on the coaching staff for 4 years now.
Nice. Well, he did a great job commentating the match Friday. We're trying to get him back Tuesday. It doesn't sound like he's going to be able to come back for tomorrow's match to help with Sava. But yeah, he had some great insight, knew all of your guys' records. Great guy, and obviously loves the program and very close to you guys on the team. So,
he wrestled it up as well too. I'm pretty sure.
Yep, an alum. So he will definitely appreciate hearing that from you because he's got a ton of respect for the guys that are on the program. So, John, I appreciate your time, man. Is there anything else we need to know before we let you go this evening?
No, just thank you for your support. Thank you for having me on here. I think it's great what you do for the program and, and for our student athletes, just kind of sharing a little bit of our personality out there for the fans. I'm sure they appreciate it because, we don't get to talk to them all. So, but it's a great way to connect with them, if we don't get to connect with them in person. So thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. John, we might have to do like a reverse one of these episodes. Like after the season, if you end up hanging up those shoes, you might have to come on this side and ask the guys on the team the questions on this side. So we might have to switch roles after this season if you hang up the shoes after this season. So keep that in mind. Maybe we'll plan something at some point in your career.
That'll be great. I'm pretty sure they'll all say bad things about me.
Yeah. We'll get some John impressions for sure. I'm sure we can get some John impressions from somebody. I'm sure.
Yeah, probably Caleb.
Caleb?
Probably give you a couple. Caleb and Will. Yeah. They'll give you some for sure.
All right. We'll definitely keep that in mind. John, appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow night. Good luck the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to watching you through the rest of the season and seeing where you end up in March.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good night and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh, man, I tell you what, guys, that type of content right there is what I enjoy most. Always good to hear from the student athletes. Good to get that take. I have a feeling John thought he might be doing a little extra in the morning tomorrow, or maybe not tomorrow because they've got a duel, but he might know there's a little extra coming in the training room at some point this week. So good content. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Great that you took a part of our day or part of your day to be with us this evening. Again, go check out the Tony Gravely match or the episode that we had with him following UFC 270. Great victory for that young man. Tune in to Rockfin tomorrow, 7 p.m. We're going to have the Gardner-Web. For those of you that may be watching both or watching from home, I'm going to be watching from home as well. So we're going to do a Twitter, what they call a Twitter space, which is like an audio back and forth, almost like a podcast maybe, but where everybody that's involved can chat about the match. So we'll watch the duel, obviously on Rockfin, and we'll have a Twitter space going as well. So that we can talk back and forth about the individual matches and the duel. So if you're interested, check us out there on Twitter. I'll have that up and running about 10 minutes prior. And I'll even check with the guys that are going to do the broadcast or the stream for us tomorrow and see if we can't get the senior day activities in there. Coach JohnMark said it'll start about 10 minutes before, so we'll see if we can include those on the stream as well. Hey, appreciate everybody again this evening. Go follow, subscribe, retweet, like, whatever it is that you may do. We definitely appreciate the support, and have a great evening, and go Apps.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.